Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of SAFC Thursday Night Bunch. Unfortunately, there's only a pair of us at the moment because we're missing two technical issues with Jack Shields at the moment having problems getting online, and Emma hopefully will be joining us very shortly. But at this moment in time, it's the deadly duo. We've got CONRAD. How are you doing?
I'm not bad, Terry. Yourself?
Yeah, I can't complain. I've had a half decent day. Been getting the staircase skimmed. I'm getting that place all nicely tidied up. Hopefully that'll dry nicely over the night time. So we've been busy working today, CONRAD?
Oh yeah, full on busy making events for my housing company, and then just more work than you can throw a stick at. But it's all fun. It's all fun in the new role.
Did you enjoy that international break though, CONRAD?
Not after the injuries it causes. No, I enjoyed watching the England games, but not after just basically every day it was like he's gone.
And we have Emma who's joined us. Emma, hello, how are you doing?
Hello, Terry. Hello, CONRAD. I'm not bad. How are you?
Hello.
Have you been busy today?
I have, working, same as always. I'm a grafter, me, Terry.
He's a grafter, unlike someone like weephillie. Emma grafts every day. A woman's work is never done, is that correct?
It's not especially when you've got kids and all. It's 24/7.
It's a full-time job. It's a full-time job, Emma. I know what it's like. I'm not even a woman. Right, anyway, we're still being for Jack Shields. But on the chat tonight, we have Las Palmas Macam. Evening, everybody. Mick Griffiths, good evening. Hope we're all well. At the moment, we are. Jimmy, evening, 3 points tomorrow night. Yes, we've been waiting for this for a while now. Seems like forever and a day since we've had a game of football for Sunderland. CONRAD Tag says evening. Alan Robinson on there says evening, lads and lasses. Well, lads, I know what he means. Gary Talbot, hello. Rufus Abijas, Brian Scotia Macam, David Joblin, David Miller, all on the chat tonight. Thank you for joining in. Emma, did you watch the England games?
I watched the Ukraine one. That's the only one I watched.
Yeah, I saw the bits and pieces of the Italy match, but obviously I didn't see all of the Ukraine one either. But yeah, it was good. 6 points to start off, wasn't it?
Well, wasn't bad. I'll take it. The way I was
start off with some bad news before we get on with some happy stuff, shall we? We'll go. Apparently, there's a club statement out to do with Jack Diamond. We'll get this over and done with. Sunderland FC have been notified that criminal charges have been brought against Jack Diamond by the Crown Prosecution Service. The player has been suspended with immediate effect pending the outcome of the judicial process, and his loan agreement with Lincoln City Football Club has also been terminated. As this matter is subject to legal process, the club will not be making any further statement at this time. And, end of the day, I don't know what's gone on, so I'm not going to get involved in what's happened so far. So we'll go past that. I thought I'd put it out there so everybody can see what's gone on to do with Jack Diamond. Now, before we move into the Burnley match tomorrow night, I want to talk about injuries. We'll start with CONRAD. CONRAD, you mentioned about the international duty, and we had two injuries. We've got Jefferson Bennett with a broken collarbone, probably out for the rest of the season. And we got Ballard, who was out for 2 to 3 weeks with a hamstring. Will he be back in 2 to 3 weeks, CONRAD?
It's hamstrings. What a difficult one. Hopefully, it's not too bad. Was it Owen in our group was saying the other day? If it can be 2 weeks, it can be up to 4 or 5, depending on how bad it is on there. So I'm hoping it's one of them where they actually go, surprisingly, he's back in like 2 weeks and it's fine, for a bit more of our running, because I feel like he already missed a fair few games at the start of the season with some sort of injury as well. And the Bennett one, I know we were saying last time we were on, I was a bit like, well, I'd like to throw him in a few more games, see what he's got, and well, that ain't going to happen now. It was just one of the... But again, we were saying he starts for Costa Rica, or he come on. I don't know what he did there, but couldn't get a game for us yet, and now we have no alternatives again. Apparently,
it was done in training. CONRAD.
Right.
Just very unfortunate, isn't it? I mean, how unfortunate is that, to be fair?
It's a bit like, was it when England went to the World Cup in 2010 and they went, Emil Heskey's 2-footed Rio Ferdinand and he's now out of the tournament? You're just like, right, cheers, mate. Like in training, that's what you're doing. Okay.
Absolutely terrible. Emma, we've had a bit of a break. Lads have gone away. We've had Miss Shooting Bar's gone away, but we've come back with 2 injuries. How much of a miss is Ballard going to be?
He's going to be an absolute huge miss, Terry. He really is. I'm devastated. I know we went on about the injuries in January, but I wish we had maybe lost Ballard then rather than now, because to me, he's the reason we've stayed in the last few games, him and 09. So he's going to be a huge miss, and I just don't know what Mowbray can do to fill his gap, apart from possibly recall Wright, if we still can.
Definitely. Jack, how you been? Are you finally getting on, Jack? So everything's sorted out, mate?
Yeah, apologies for my late arrival, people. I've had one or two technical difficulties, shall we say, but I'm on now, ready to go.
It's been having late fish and chips, haven't you? That's what it's been.
No, technical problems with the internet, to be fair. I was doing a Michael Bowers.
How did you find the 2 England games? Did you enjoy them or did you not watch them?
I didn't watch last Thursday's because I was at the darts. That's why I couldn't do last week's show. So I watched the highlights of that. I thought we seemed to dominate the first half of the game. Second half, they came into it a little bit, but it was a really good win for England. And Sunday's game, England won. Fairly boring, I thought, but win's a win, I suppose.
Exactly. Are you pleased it's over and done with? Get back to some football now, proper football anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. I think this international break's probably the worst for me because the ones early in the season in September and October, yeah, it's a bit annoying, but you know there's plenty of football to come. But when you get to the back end of March, you're into the real business end of the season, aren't you? As Alex Ferguson would say, squeaky bum time. And everyone's like excited and you're building the momentum and then you have to stop with 7 or 8 games to go. And it's just like a bit of a, you know what I mean? It's like one of them. I don't mind watching England, but I think it's tough. But like now, straight through, plenty of games between now and the end of the season.
But unfortunately, you picked up 2 injuries, Jack. We've been talking about Ballard. How much of a miss will Ballard be? Absolutely
massive miss, Terry. Huge miss. He's been probably one of the standout players of the season, hasn't he? He would have been up there, in my opinion, for player of the season. Certainly young player of the season. Consistently solid at the back. He offers us that bit of physicality and just... you know, someone you can depend on. Do you know what I mean? You know Dan Ballard's going to give you 7, 8 out of 10. I can't recall too many bad games that he had, maybe Stoke aside. So, yeah, there's nobody really like him in the team. We can try and maybe plug the gap with Anderson, the young lad, or Luke O'Nien possibly in that position. But there's not going to be anybody that has the physicality and the strength of Ballard, so he's going to be a major, major miss. The other one, you're talking about the other one, Bennett, Terry.
Yeah, Bennett,
I think, to be fair, with all due respect to the lad, I think he'll be less of a miss because he hasn't been a regular player. As he's come off the bench a few times, he's made a few games, but I think he'll only be a miss in terms of numbers because we are down to the bare bones, aren't we? So I think he would have been another number in terms of, but I don't think you'll miss his attributes that much because he hasn't really featured. He's probably one for next season.
Right, and go back onto the chat. We got 10-pin Ben. What are your opinions on Jack Diamond? Well, we'll leave that for the time being. This DJ Sizzler Watson. Hello, boys. Nice to see you back. Mick Griffiths. Not Michael Bauer's Wi-Fi, is it, Jack? Brian Scotia Macam. Are we going to bring up the Jack Diamond? Well, I've just read the statement out, Jack, about Jack Diamond. But obviously, I'm not going to have any comments to do with it because I don't know the situation, what's going on. Mickey Mack. Evening, guys. Conrad Tank. Oh, and Enzi. Conrad Tank says Bulldog is being charged with a sexual assault. There we go. Conrad Tank. I remember, though, they're innocent until proven guilty. Of course, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. Tam's on there. It's amazing. Jack Diamond is innocent until proven guilty. Some people seem to have hung him out, hung, drawn, and quartered him already. Well, yeah, people have got opinions. Some people just naturally this thing's going to be guilty straight away. But again, it's up to the court system. Alan Robinson, if Diamond's guilty, he deserves everything he gets. If anybody's guilty of those things, they definitely deserve everything they get. Elliot Anderson, put a poll on here. Sunderland starting 11 versus injured 11. Which would the best team be? Denham 13. Conrad, you need to sort your clock out. Oh, it's on your clock, Conrad.
I know. I said that, and for a second, I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of going, do I? Because I know it's right, but yeah.
Right. Then we also got Bulldog Fitness on there. And Bulldog Fitness on a couple of times. Talking about Jack Diamond. Right, Conrad, we're going to go into the defence. I've heard a rumour today, I don't know if it's true, that Joe Anderson could be getting sent out on loan. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. How would you change your back four, Conrad, for the Burnley match, and who would you bring in?
I'd probably have to slot 09 in for this point. He's played a lot of his season with us in the back four or along the back four anyway. I don't want to drop... I can't remember his name. Is it Hume? Right back, yeah. I don't want to drop him out the team just to sort of accommodate 09 and move him in. I don't know how we're doing with Sirkin. Is he anywhere near? Does anybody know if he's...
He played about 60, 70 minutes against Hartlepool in the closed doors game I think it was last week. So he's getting there slowly. So he's going down with the team. I think he'd be either possibly starting or in the reserves. I'm not quite sure, on the bench, I mean.
Yeah, I think you'd probably have to slot 09 in for Ballard, because for the first half of the season, I think that's what we were doing anyway when Ballard wasn't playing until he came back against Hull. And I think he just knows what we're doing. It's one of them. I think we're just having to sadly get to the end of the season now, more so than just sort of just paper this crack over. Plaster's there, just let's get the team, limp them over the line, and let's just get it done. Not for any reason of them playing badly, just because of that many injuries to first teamers that. Like,
do you have any thoughts on Joe Anderson? Do you have any thoughts on Joe Anderson, Conrad?
I can't say I've seen him before or even heard of him much. So I mean, I suppose because we're safe, it would be nice to just go, do you know what? Go and have a go. Let's see what you're made of, and because there's very little pressure on them at this point. If we were in a proper relegation dogfight or actually going after the playoffs as in we were in them, you'd sort of go, oh, hang on, right, who's our best one? But I think where we are, and this might just be me, and I'm trying not to be negative, I think it's free hits for the rest of the season now to be like, let's see what happens.
Exactly, we kind of go down. I mean, Joe Anderson, he's played in the under-21s a few times since he's come to the club. Emma, would you be tempted to start Gooch at left back?
I would. I'd put 09 in place for Ballard and start Gooch, because the fact that Gooch has played there before for us. So it's not a bad idea, to be fair. But like what Conrad saying, we haven't really got much to lose. I mean, I know we're not 100% safe as of yet, effectively. I think I was looking, was it yesterday or the day before? And I think it's like another 3 wins or something, and we'll definitely be safe. So to me, it's a bit hit-y-missy. It's like, what does he do? Does he give all these new players, the youngsters, a chance and get their first team experience, or does he go with a team in a game plan that's already worked before?
Right. Jack, would you be tempted to just chuck Sirkin straight back in after 6 or 7 minutes that he's played against Hartlepool and risk him, or would you have Gooch there? What would your back four be, Jack?
It all depends on how he's been assessed by the physios, you know what I mean, the physical side of the game. If they say he's fit enough to play and he feels fit enough, I'd be tempted to give him a go. I know sometimes you have to be really careful with players, and I get that, but I think he's been out with, it's concussion with Hume, hasn't it? Is that why he's been out? Now, I'm not saying Sirkin, sorry. I'm not saying concussion's less of an injury than anything more physical, like a hamstring or anything like that. But as long as he feels safe enough and he's had all of the clearance, I'd be tempted to play him. If not, if he's still a little bit unsure and he wants to wait a little bit, then maybe. Would you not rather go Gooch right back, Hume left back though? Would that not be better to do rather than Hume right back and Gooch left back? Because Gooch has played a little bit at right back before, and I think Hume is primarily a right back, but I think he can play left back. Terry, somebody might say I'm talking rubbish, but I think so. If you're going that way, I would swap them round. I would rather go Gooch right back and Hume left back, but my preference would be Hume if he's cleared all the if he's cleared all the protocols.
Yeah, I'm thinking if Sirkin's going to be on the bench, then he must have played all the protocols to be on the bench. So it's just down to fitness, isn't it? Now you're thinking whether Gooch and Hume could switch over or play the side, or maybe an 80% fit of Sirkin will fit in there. But we played against the best side in the league, aren't we? So it's going to be a difficult game no matter who we put in there at the moment. Now we'll go back to the live chat. We've got Denholm 13. Diamond should get done for his raggy tash. Fair enough. Alan Robinson, what the hell's going on with our injuries? I know it's been a really bad season with injuries. And then we got, I want to see more of Ekwa, says Bulldog, and Conrad Tanker would play Gooch, although he's proved to me a few mistakes every now and again, and he always gives his all. He does always give his all. So we're going to move on to the Burnley match tomorrow. Now, before we move on to the Burnley match, actually I want to ask Jack, because he wasn't here on the last show, what was your thoughts on the Luton match, the last Luton match? When you saw the Luton match, what was your thoughts on that game?
I thought the draw was a fair result, to be fair, Terry. I came away thinking 1-1 was a fair result. I thought it was a decent point to get. I thought first half they were the better team. I thought they were the team in control. But second half we came on really, really strong. And I would have been disappointed if we hadn't got a draw from the game, considering the last 15 or 20 minutes we were camped in their half, creating chances. We were just lacking that final cutting edge in the final third. The main striker who we've talked about to death, we were missing, or a bit of finishing touch in that final third. The penalty I thought was slightly soft, but it made up for the poor decisions we got against Sheffield United. I know Luton fans will say, well, that's not fair on us, but they might get one in their next game. That seems to be the way it works. So, yeah, I thought the penalty was a little bit soft, but I thought on the balance of play, a draw was a fair result. It's a decent point. I mean, our home record, as we've touched on, hasn't been brilliant this season. That's probably a bit more of an issue if you look at the overall picture. We haven't got as many wins as home as we should have got. That's just a fact. But point against Luton, 1-0 down against a team sort of 4th or 5th in the league above us in good form. I think they'd won the last 5 in a row, hadn't they, before they played us? Or unbeaten.
5 away games or something like that in a row.
They had a good run. So 5 or 10 minutes to go, you take a point, and I thought it was a good solid point. I thought we were fair value for it.
Fair enough. Right, if everybody on the channel is enjoying the live stream, please give us a thumbs up. Much appreciated. We do try to go for 100 likes, but as close as possible would be nice. Now, the team we started against Luton was obviously Patterson, Hume, Ballard, Bart, 09, Neil, Michoud, Roberts, Barr, Clark, and Gelhardt. Conrad, would you be tempted to bring back Ahmad?
Yeah, I think just because he's, out of everyone on that pitch at the moment that can play and is fit, he's probably our biggest threat in terms of goal scoring. I think is he our top goal scorer apart from Stewart, I would have thought. I know earlier on in the season I saw something that Jack Clark is our best goal contributor, as it were, like for goals and assists out of everyone. But I still think when Ahmad's on there, I just think oppositions just don't know what to do with him. Yes, with Roberts, everyone's they don't know what to do. And I think the duo of them together works really well. I keep going to say Ahmad, but it's Ahmad and Roberts there. So yeah, I'd put him back in, and I'm still getting a bit sick of Gelhardt despite his bicycle kicks in training.
So that's who you would drop, Gelhardt?
Yeah, I think we'd play Ahmad not through the middle, but I think we just false 9 most of our front 3 and just go, right, whichever side we're coming on, that's where we're going for it.
We are a bit, obviously we haven't got much on the bench to come on, to be fair, apart from really Ahmad. But I know that it's going to be tough to change it around. Would you keep the 4-2-3-1 system?
It depends. We've got Michoud, we've got Neo, 4-2-3-1. Yeah, probably, but no, because then we have the striker still. No, I'd probably drop it back and put something like 4-3-3, but like maybe is Pritchard fit? I keep myself out of the loop a lot of the time, so it's Pritchard playing at the minute.
Emma, I haven't heard much about Pritchard. Have you heard if he's fit or not?
Did he come on last game? Did he not against Luton?
I'm going to check.
I'm sure Pritchard came on with Gooch.
Did.
I can't remember. I'm sure he did.
So would you be tempted to keep Barr on the side, Emma? Would you change something around? If you want to bring a Mad in, you've got to drop somebody. Obviously, Conrad would drop Gelhardt. Would you keep the same team, obviously barring the Ballard injury?
I don't know whether I'd start a Mad, to be honest with you, Terry, because he's been looking tired recently. This is one of the reasons why I think he's dropped him. But then also Ahmad's been out on his internationals, hasn't he? So how tired is he going to be from that? So is he going to be able to play to his full strength? So I don't know whether I'd maybe keep him on the bench and bring him on second half, 60th, 65th minute to make a bit of an impact.
Would you be tempted to have a stronger midfield against Burnley? Maybe put 3 in, put Ekwar in there with Neil and Michoud?
Yeah.
Pritchard came off the bench,
sorry, Conrad?
I was just saying Pritchard came off the bench. Sorry, Emma.
In an ideal world, I'd want to drop Neil or Michoud because I don't think that they work well together on the pitch, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, I think maybe putting Ekwar up there or even Barr, as you say, could potentially change things up a bit, and it might give Clark and Roberts a bit more of a run, if you like.
Yeah. Right, back on the live chat. Steve Usher, Gelhardt to score with a bicycle kick tomorrow. Mick Griffiths, Gelhardt wouldn't score in a brothel, Steve. Steve's not happy with that. He's laughing at that anyway. Jack, your team tomorrow, with your selections being, how would you shape up the team?
I would make 3 changes. Obviously, one's enforced. We're going to have to bring in, as we've touched on, a full-back. So I would go Patterson in goal. I would go Gooch at right back, Hume at left back. Well, actually, Serkin at left back. Yeah, I'll say Serkin at left back, Hume at right back, O'Nien and Bath in the centre-back positions. I would go 3 in the middle. I would go 4-3-3. Terry, I think we need a little bit of extra man in the middle. So I think I would go across the middle, Ekwa, Neil and Michu, and then I would go 3 up front. I would drop Gelhardt, and I would play Roberts on one side of the front 3, Clark on the other, and I would play Ahmad up front. And we can just try and counter-attack, do you know what I mean? Try and play Ahmad in the false 9 position, keep the ball as much as we can in the middle, and try and counter-attack. Anytime Burnley are pushing forward, try and get in behind as quickly as we can. I think Roberts and Clark are going to have to be slightly more defensive-minded. I know neither of them are naturally defensive. They are players that want to get on the ball and be technical and final third players, and I completely get that that's their natural game. But I think tomorrow they're going to have to show a little bit of more discipline. I'm not saying play as right in front of the full-backs. Obviously, get forward and break when we can, but they're going to have to be aware of the Burnley players pushing on, because we're coming up against, let's be honest, the best team in the division, a team that's going to be in the Premier League next season, and they are strong. They've scored plenty of goals this season, and they're at home. They're on the verge of promotion. So really, we've got a real tough task on to stop them. And I think we're going to have to tell them, look, you can still play right wing and left wing, or right side of the forward and left side, but you're going to have to be extra defensively cautious today. You're going to have to watch where you're running. When you give the ball away, you're going to have to make an extra effort to track back. It's not going to be easy for them, because that's not their natural role. But we don't want to, because if we concede a goal early, we could easily be on the end of a hammer. And I hope we're not. I really hope we're not. The longer we go on keeping a clean sheet, the better. But we'll have to be cautious tomorrow night more than any other game, because this is a really tough task going to Turf Moor.
And on your heart, Jack, think Tony Mowbray will actually change the system?
Well, I don't think so. I think you'll probably go with 4-2-3-1, but I think that's a little bit too attacking for me, because I think you've got 4 attacking players there, really, haven't you? You know, you've got the 3 up front, the 3 behind the striker, and I think we need an extra man in the middle, because we're going to get overrun by Burnley in the middle. He should change the team, Terry, but he probably won't. He'll probably keep it the same way he's always played the last few weeks. But I think you're stupid if you don't have 3 across the middle rather than just 2 in an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, I mean, Burnley have only lost 2 games all season. The last time they lost a game of football was on, I think it was Bonfire Night. So, you know, a really good run of form. And I think they've got the best defence. We let 29 goals in, got plus 45 goal difference. So they're absolutely flying at the moment. So I know we did beat Norwich away, and it was a 4-2-3-1 system, but this is a different kettle of fish tomorrow altogether. So back to the chat again. We got Alan Robinson, Mick, with the 10-bob note hanging out his pocket to do with the Gelhardt not scoring. I think we're being a bit harsh with Gelhardt here, Conrad.
No.
Did not rate him at all?
No, I mean, before he came to us, I was like, he's a good player here, and I still think he is. He doesn't suit the system we had. He was, I think, brought in to play off of Ross Stewart, and without Ross Stewart, he can't lead the line on his own. I said the same about Sims, that we were actually, it felt like a sort of bit of a worse team with Sims up top on his own. It just never felt like it quite worked, and he did most of his goal scoring when he was playing with Ross Stewart, because Ross Stewart would pull the defenders away and Sims was always just in the space for it. So I think we took too much, what's the word? We looked sort of too much into who can play with Ross Stewart. And then when Ross Stewart was gone, we were like, right, can anybody play that role? And the answer is, so far, no.
I think Tony Mowbray will start tomorrow night, Emma. I mean, what's your thoughts on Gelhardt, Emma?
I agree with Conrad. I feel heartily sorry for the lad. I really do, because I reckon he was brought in to play alongside Stewart and to play off of Stewart, basically. And obviously with Stewart being injured, it's not working for the poor lad at Sunderland. And my biggest fear is that the fans will start to turn on him before the end of the season. But then that's not Gelhardt's fault, because he can't play the system that he was brought in to play, in my opinion. But I do reckon he will still start him. I really do, because technically he's the only striker we've got. So he's got
Jack, could we not change the system to get more out of Gelhardt? Or put him in a different place?
I don't think so, really, Terry, because ultimately, as Emma and Conrad have already said, he was always going to be the one behind Stewart. To me, he even looks more like he could even be better in an attacking midfielder, or even a central midfielder role, bursting out. If you had two holding midfielders and you had him just in front, because I noticed it straight away when we signed him, he was getting on the ball from deep. He was almost picking up the ball from the halfway line. You know what I mean? And he was wanting to run at players, and he was driving at the players and then laying it off to the right and left and getting in the box. Almost like, I don't like to compare him to Wayne Rooney because he's obviously nowhere near that level, but the similar style of play, do you know what I mean? The way that Rooney used to tear up and down, with like stomping feet and aggressive and straight away. And then when I thought, well, he doesn't look like a striker. And not only that, he just doesn't look like a natural finisher, does he? I mean, you think of the natural finishers we've had at Sunderland over the years, Jermaine Defoe, Darren Bent to a certain extent. More recently, you could argue Ross Stewart. Do you know what I mean?
Altidore.
Yeah, definitely not him.
Yeah,
finish his dinner. But Ellis Sims to a certain extent, but it just doesn't look like he's a natural finisher. When he went through against Norwich, did anybody really have any confidence that he's going to put that ball in there? No, not really. And what happens? He sort of scuffed it at the keeper, and you got the feeling like that was going to be his golden chance to really get a goal and get on the run. However, I will defend him a little bit because I do think he's been a little bit more involved in recent games. Now, I know people are going to say, well, that's his job. He's on the pitch to get involved. And I get that. And I get that strikers are judged on goals as well to a certain extent. But I do think he's been contributing to play a little bit more, even laying it off and getting involved with, the play in the final third. So I don't think he's sat there and done nothing. And I never say he's a terrible player. But it just doesn't look like the move's really going to work for him. But not got many options, but I would still play Diallo. I would give him a rest on Friday. Maybe give Gelhardt a go against Hull. I think he's more likely to get a goal against Hull at home than Burnley away. Let's be honest.
I think so as well. Definitely. Right, back on the chat. Ian Byron. Good evening, everybody watching. Hope you are well. It's your favourite Darlington FC fan back here. Hello, Ian. Steve Usher. I remember when a 10-bob bit note was a lot of money. I can't even remember it. Alan Robinson, me too. David Walker, he thinks Gelhardt should be dropped. Macam 1973 says even and all. Gary Talbot, best line of defence is attack. Yes, Tony Mowbray says he's not going to change. He's going to continue attacking against Burnley. The Bristolian Macam, I'd try Ekwa up front and try emulate Ross's role, 6'4" tall. Jeff, I wouldn't turn on him. He's just crap. According to Gelhardt. Ian Palmer, Joffy is a good grafter. We'll need that more than his goal threat tomorrow night. So obviously Ian would start him. Then we also have McGrivis. You would think TM Tony Mowbray could change the system for the lad. Anthony, hello. Oi, Conrad lad. And then we got there we go. McGrivis. To be honest, I wouldn't play him in the Sunday League. So lots of different opinions on there. A lot of opinions who don't actually like them. But again, 100 people on the live stream. Please give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the live stream. Much appreciated. Now we'll go back to tomorrow night's game. Can we actually get a result tomorrow night, Conrad?
I think we're more than capable of getting a result. But again, this is me looking at through my red and white tinted glasses that I've had on when I sort of sit there and I go, yeah, of course we are with Stu. Oh, hang on. With Corey. Oh, right, okay. With that. Oh, right, okay, great. You sort of just start listing off the players. You go, yeah. And you start to get to the end and you go, we still can. Like, I'm not sitting there now going, 3 points to Burnley, just write it off. Let's think about Hull. I'm still sitting there going, we'll have a go at them. I think earlier on at the stage in my life, I don't think we had Stewart. I don't think we had Ballard. I can't tell you if Corey Evans played or not, but we went 2-0 up in the first half and then kind of had a panic attack and lost 4-2. But it still proves we can hit them, so we may as well have a go tomorrow.
Do you agree with Jack? Do we have to be more cautious though, and not throw like caution to the wind like we have been in the past?
I think that, I mean, I wasn't at the last Burnley game, but I know we went 2-0 up, and did we get a little bit overconfident in our ability and just sort of think, well, they're not going to come back here. We'll be all right. We've got this under control. And then all of a sudden they just remembered, hang on, we all played in the Premier League last year. We're miles better than this lot, and just turned it on. Yeah, we'll have to be cautious. We'll have to be careful, but I wouldn't want us to change too much of what we've done this season that got us to where we are. I don't want us to suddenly turn up and be like, right, lads, 4-5-1. don't come out of your own half unless you're chasing the ball on your own type thing. Like, let's play the way we have all season. That's what got us into this good position.
Exactly right. But back on the live chat, we've got Mickey McTurry. A 10 bob note was money you had in your pocket. A 10 bob bit is something completely different, Mara. Rogue Foggy, it's a draw. A draw tomorrow night. Alan Robinson, same prediction as me, Mick. So he's going for the same one as well. So, Emma, can we win tomorrow night? Can we get a point even?
Hand on heart.
Yes.
Yeah. My head says no. So my heart's saying yes. Because obviously I love my team, but my head is just saying no. We're not going to. I mean, I want me to come out. I want me to come out all guns blazing and put up a damn good fight. But I'm a bit concerned about, obviously, with the loss of Ballard, how much of a liability could potentially 09 be. Could we potentially end up going down to 10 men? Could he become a bit more frustrated? So I'm thinking we're going to get beat, if I'm quite honest with you, Terry. And I hate to say it, but obviously Burnley's where they are for a reason. You know what I mean? Where we are for a reason. Well, down to injuries, mainly us, but no.
I think when we played against Burnley at home, we were 2-0 up at half time. Then we let a goal in really soon after the break, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, like Jack said earlier on, the key is we got to try and keep it as a clean sheet for I would say for at least the first 20-30 minutes to try and calm Burnley down a little bit. I mean, Burnley's record's amazing. Played 37, won 24, drawn 11, lost 2. Has scored 74 goals and only led in 29, 83 points already. And absolutely, Vincent Kompany is doing a really good job with Burnley. You know, he's only lost he's got a 64% win ratio at the moment with Burnley. So only 36-year-old having a great start down there, Turf Moor. Jack, can we get a result tomorrow? Can we get a draw? Can we get a win? Can we hold on to something?
I mean, we can do. It's not like we're completely incapable of it. But I think it's going to be a massive ask, to be fair, to stop Burnley the way that they're playing. They've got momentum. They're chasing all kinds of records. Is our 105 point record? We haven't got the record anymore. I was going to say 105 point record, but I think Reading broke it, didn't they? But they might be on for certainly. There's no reason they can't aim for 100 points. And they're on the verge of promotion. It's a Friday night game in front of their fans, so they're going to be bang up for it, aren't they? Vincent Kompany's a very professional man. Conrad's wanting him. Go on, Conrad. Are you wanting to say something?
They can get 110 if they win all remaining games.
Right, there we'll go then. So yeah, it's an incredibly difficult task. Can we get a point? No reason why not. We've got to play very, very well. We've got to be disciplined. We've got to take our chances if we get them, because we're not going to get many. We're not going to see much of the ball. We're probably going to have a lot of defending to do. So can we offer something on the counter-attack? I think that's definitely something. Burnley have scored a lot of goals. They seem to be an open team, as we saw at the Stadium of Light. There was 6 goals at the Stadium of Light when we played them early in the season. So they're probably going to have a go at us. If we, keep tight, and then we can get out on the counter-attack. And obviously, if we get any chances, we need to put them away. You have to be clinical if you want to cause shocks, against teams that are expected to beat you. When you get a chance, you've got to put it away. I know it seems obvious to state, but there's definitely options on the counter-attack. We have to be disciplined. We have to be strong defensively. I'm not saying completely park the bus, as Conrad says. Don't go like that. We have to still offer some kind of a threat, and I think that's going to be on the counter-attack and in behind. If we can get in behind, maybe a long ball up if they've got plenty of men forward, and get the likes of Roberts and Clark and Diallo chasing, and then get up the pitch that way. But it's going to be very, very tough. Very, 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 very tough job on to stop Burnley the way that they're playing. But you never ever know in football. But I wouldn't be putting any money on it. Put it like that.
No money on it. Well, there's 11 teams got draws against Burnley this season. 2 beat them, so it's definitely not impossible, is it? So we'll go back to the live chat anyway. We've got the Bristolian Macam. Vincent Kompany said in an interview that Sunderland and Burnley have the same attacking DNA or similar. Steve Usher. Form would say we'll lose, but I've followed the club long enough to know anything's possible. Jeff says, true, Steve. Going to be a tough though. Ian Palmer, if we turn up, anything is possible. We score goals most games. And Colin, Major Gelhardt will score his first goal for us tomorrow night. I think he's already scored a goal, hasn't he? This season so far? Second goal.
He got a header at Rotherham away, didn't he? Back post.
Yes, that was it.
Oh, yeah.
Mick Griffiths said, I think we will get beat 3-0. They are too strong for us. So we'll go to score predictions. I'll start off with score predictions. I can't even remember what I said last night in my own bloody preview. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Sunderland sneaky win, like we did against Norwich. You know, that's me heart, obviously, overruling me head. My head says other things. Conrad, score prediction.
Jack Ross special, the 1-1.
Who's going to score?
Gelhardt, after all I've given him in this one. No, I could see someone like Roberts nicking one. We go ahead, sort of hold back like we were against Norwich a bit, see the game out like that, and then them sort of eventually getting one before the end. So.
Who'll give the assist to Robertson?
Gelhardt, no, Ahmad. Why not?
Who passes the ball to Ahmad?
Gelhardt's off the pitch injured, if that's where you're going in this scenario.
Just describe again that. I think
right. So
I have the goal set up.
Patterson rolls it out to O'Nien. Hume, little 1-2 back and forth. He sees Clark far side. He goes straight over the right back's head onto Clark. Cuts back, slots it in. You think Ahmad's going to hit it first time. Delicate little layoff. Roberts side foot bottom corner.
Boom! Happy days. Love it.
Like one of the the Reading goal and like whoever was it Huddersfield as well. We did it for one of them were front to back without them touching it.
Emma. Score predictions. Have you got a fancy goal for us?
I think we're going to get beat 2-1. We're going to score, but I reckon we're going to get beat 2-1. I really do. We've got to get that goal. I'm sorry, we do.
Do we score first?
No, we're going to score 82nd minute.
All right. Squeaky bum time for Burnley, yeah?
I really do reckon it's going to be 82nd minute. It's going to get all us fans up on our feet at home. And it's going to be like, right, come on, we can do it. And get all excited and let down.
Come on then, Jack. You're a realist. What's the score going to be tomorrow?
Well, I was just checking. I like the precise predictions from CONRAD and Emma. Emma's going 82nd minute, giving us the minute what we're going to score, and CONRAD's describing the goal. I thought he was going to go. He was doing that, that Ant and Dec World Cup song, "We're on the ball when they go Heskey to Rio." Jesus, I thought he was going to put it into a song. I was just looking, and I think we've scored in something like 20 odd games. Was Cardiff at home the last time we didn't score in a game?
Must be, yeah.
That up. Cardiff at home the last time we didn't score in a game. But I'm sorry to tell you, I think this is going to be the game where we don't score. I think it has to end sometime, and I think, unfortunately, hate to be the miserable one, but I think Burnley are going to be too strong for us. Ultimately, it'll be a good test, though, because if we want to be a team that's aiming for automatic promotion, either next season or the season after, then this is a really good test, because this is a team that's going to get promotion this season. Let's be honest, let's be frank. So it'll be good to see how well we are and where our deficiencies are against a team like Burnley. I think Burnley will have too much for us. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Burnley. I don't think they'll batter us, but I think they'll get 2-0 up, and then they'll probably just be comfortable to keep us at arm's length. I'd like to think we can have counter-attacking opportunities. It'd be great if we can get a goal early and maybe, sit tight, and then, they have to force the issue a little bit and maybe start making a few mistakes when they're on the ball because they're forcing it rather than playing the natural game. But I don't think we'll get many chances, and I think they'll have a little bit too much. So I'm going to go 2-0 Burnley. Sorry to be negative, but
forever the realist.
I think, Terry, sorry.
No, it's fine. Everyone's tackling his opinion. You'd probably be right. I mean, I'd be out of the moon not to get beat 3 or 4-0, to be fair, the way Burnley are playing. But, we might get a result. We might get a surprise. Colin Major says, bring back the beach ball. Can somebody put a beach ball in the pocket and blow that up during the game, possibly?
Maybe. We need it. We need all that we can get, probably.
Right, we'll start off with Emma on this one. Emma, have you sorted your season cards out yet?
Of course I have. I actually had to go to the ticket office in the end to get mine sorted.
Was it easy to do?
Much easier to do. I mean, when I went down, I stood for half an hour tops. There was about 7 people in front of it. There was 4 of them on in the ticket office, and I was in the ticket office within about 10 minutes, completely and utterly sorted. Dead easy.
So are you getting cards back again?
What they've told me to do, because I inquired about that, they've said that I've got to email the digital season card thing, but then they're then going to look at it in July. So you wouldn't hear back basically until July about it. So, because I was actually talking to the last, and I said, even if they just like print off a QR code and laminate that for people instead of like the actual season cards. She said, but it's going to be July before we hear back effectively.
But your seats are all kept for you still, though.
Yeah. Still got all the seats and stuff, and I've even gotten the little in his first season ticket, the poor bugger.
See, my email said my season card's there because it's being renewed so long as I haven't stopped the direct debit. Now, I can't remember if I've stopped the direct debit or not. So what do I do now? Do I have to go down to the ticket office if I can't remember? Because when I go into my bank statement, I can see the last payment on my standing order as a direct debit. It's there, but the new one isn't in. Where my friend's already got May on his, so I don't know whether it's taken longer for mine to appear or whether I've just got to ring up and find out. Jack, have you sorted yours out yet?
Yeah, well, I'm the same as you, Terry. I've got direct debit, and I'm under the impression it just automatically renews unless you want to cancel it. I might be wrong with that one, but I'm sure I got an email about 3 weeks ago, maybe early March, late February. I think it was early March. I got an email just stating that because I've paid with direct debit, it automatically renews. I mean, if you wanted to cancel it, you'd have to get in touch with them before the first payment come out, to cancel it. But I was of the impression that if you direct debit, you just keep your same seat, it'll just automatically renew, unless I've read it wrongly. But I'm sure I got an email. If you want to check your email, Terry, I think it just automatically renews.
I'm trying to find it now because I'm pretty sure when I can find it.
See if I can find the date.
Right, I'll tell you here it is here. So basically, it says in red writing, if you have cancelled your direct debit through your bank, your season card will not automatically renew, and you will need to take action to renew your seat for 2023-24 season. Again, I can't remember if I've done it, if I've cancelled through the bank, but if you cancelled, you would go into your account, you would just stop the direct debit, so it wouldn't appear on your direct debits, would it?
Yeah, I think unless you surely you would know. Can you not remember if you've cancelled it or not? Is that what you're saying? You don't know?
Yeah, I can't remember because I know, like, usually in the past, if I have like a direct debit, I'm not going to use it again. I will cancel it, but I can't remember if I have. I mean, I've been on my direct debits and it's still there. I still see my last payment. It's still in the direct debits, but it hasn't got the new payment on the new payment date. Where I know some other people have their new payment dates on theirs.
I think if it's still in your direct debit thing, mine would be it's still planning on it being there. Because I know on mine, if I delete something like I did with my season ticket a year ago, once I'd taken it out of there, I couldn't see it again. It wasn't in my direct debit anymore because it's no longer an active sort of a payment method, I guess, on there. So it wasn't in there. I could go and see it in all my previous transactions and what have you, but it was no longer an active link, as it were, between the two sort of things, my bank and the club. So I think yours would auto renew, but I mean the worst that you could do is ring up and go, I want to renew, here's my details. Well, yeah, because then all they're going to do is go to your bank, can we have the payment from this account? And they're going to go, it's already set up.
And my mate,
that's all they're going to do.
Yeah, my mate, and he obviously Vincey and Jonas go, so I think Vincey's got to go down anyway because he's not sure how Jonas is going to work. Because Vincey have to use his phone, so how is Jonas going to use his? Will he have to get a phone himself, or maybe he wants to try and keep the same season card? So I'm not sure about that one, but I'll probably pop down with him anyway and ask about my mile on there. Fair. Jack, I want to get your opinions on KLD getting more shares.
Very, very good. Yeah, excellent news. I think it can only be a good thing. Stability at the minute. We've got him and we've got Speakman. Hopefully Tony Mowbray is going to give us that security. That means he's not done anything to warrant getting sacked. Next season should be a push to try and get in the playoffs. Obviously, it all depends on the recruitment in terms of how well we do next season. So there are deficiencies in the squad. We need players to start with, but we need the right additions as well. But I think it can only be a good thing. I think it shows that he hopefully is in it for the long run. I don't think he would have, bought a League One or certainly taken majority ownership of a League One team if he didn't see it as a thing for the future. Do you know what I mean? Because he probably had enough money to take a club higher in the league. He obviously sees plenty of potential at Sunderland, as we all do. I don't think we're that far away from competing to be in the Premier League and hopefully getting up there and challenging and being a stable Premier League side. So, yeah, he's got the right people around him and it can only be a good thing. The more shares people like him have and less shares that people like Stuart Donald and Charlie Methven have, the better, because they're obviously in it for the wrong reasons. And it looks like, I think, KLD's in it for the right reason. So hopefully it's not too long before he has even more shares.
Emma, before we finish, can I get your opinion on Christian Speakman? Do you think he's doing a good job at the club, or do you think he's left a bit to be desired?
He's left more than a bit to be desired. I think that Speakman's got a lot to add for this season. I really do. And that's all I'm going to say on it, because I'll go on a rant.
No bother. Conrad, you got some news to do with their Sean Championship games, apparently, on a Saturday at 3 o'clock. What's the news?
I saw earlier on in the week, I think it might have even been yesterday, that the EFL's broadcasting rights might be going out to DAZN. So instead of them being on Sky, like for things like that, so DAZN do the boxing, and I think in America they do, like, you can watch the NBA, but when you pay like between $10 and $20 a month, you can just have any game. There's none, but these are the ones that we're putting on our channel. If you want to watch, Division 2 team, you can. If you want to watch this, you can. So I think they're talking about buying, because they wanted the Premier League, of course, everybody will want the Premier League, but that's divvied up over 3 different, broadcasters at the moment, where the EFL isn't. So they can come in, take the whole lot, because they already know, well, we've got however many teams that is, for the top 3 divisions. That's this many fans already if people buy it. And even then, that would mean that the more fans watch it on your sort of channel, so if it's Sunderland, they would get more of a cut of the revenue from them, because your fans are watching a certain club, as it were, instead of it being like, Super Sunday, and this week it's Norwich versus Stoke, and you're like, there's nothing Super Sunday about this, and I don't pay £40 a month to watch Norwich versus Stoke on a Sunday. Like, I just want to be able to pick the games I want to watch, I
think that's a great idea. Right, back to the live chat. We've got David Walker says it should automatically renew. You can have 2 season cards on one phone, apparently, David says. Gary Talbot, when the first payment is due out, anyone know? When's the first payment due out? Anybody know?
Yeah, it's the 2nd of May. So the first one's the 2nd of May, and then it's the 3rd. So this is for Gary Talbot if he's listening. So the payments this year is 2nd of May, and then the 3rd of July. That's the second one. And then the 3rd payment is on the 4th of September. And then the last one's on the 2nd of November.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jack. Brian Scotia Macam, I can't wait till I can retire, then come to England and buy a season ticket and travel with the team. The 30 years to go. Gary Talbot, cheers, David Walker. Mickey Mac, haven't you got till the 20th of April to keep your seats, though? Is it the 20th or is it the 10th or 13th, Emma?
10th.
The 10th of April. Thank you, Emma.
Yeah. That's
right,
the early bird price as well.
Excellent. I think we've covered all the subjects tonight, so I want to say a big thank you to Emma coming on short notice. Thank you for giving up your really busy schedule, Emma. Much appreciated. Have a good night. Want to say goodbye to everybody?
Goodbye, everybody. Let's win tomorrow. Come on, we can do it. Howie!
Come on, lads. Conrad, do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for Conrad. Loads of knowledge like usual. Tells me a lot of things I never knew before. And Jack, thank you for coming on after being about 5 minutes late. Finished up his fish and chips. Do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, I'll see you all later, lads and lasses. Apologies I was late, and hopefully I'll get on and be on time next time. And yeah. Oh, by the way, I want to thank Conrad, because I didn't realise it was pronounced DAZN. I call it DAZN. So I was saying DAZN. I was thinking DAZN. What's he talking about? And then I was looking. Then does he mean DAZN? And I've looked, and it is actually pronounced DAZN. So he's taught me that as well, telling me how to pronounce sports channels as well.
I only know because it came up on Instagram, and they were asking like celebrities, as I'll put. I think it's one influence, and they were like DAZN, and I was like, it's not. It's when it just grinds on you, and you're like, it's DAZN, it's DAZN.
Conrad is the brains of the channel. He is the brains of the channel. There we go. I'll give him that one. Thank you 3 for coming on the channel. Much appreciated tonight. And thank you to everybody on the live chat watching tonight. Again, if you've enjoyed the chat for the 53 minutes we've been on, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Take care. God bless me. God go with you. And we'll see you next time we see you. Goodbye.